Incredible transformation from 11 medications to a vibrant mentor. At 84 years old, Margaret Collins climbs to the third floor without getting out of breath. 3 times a week, she takes the bus to the city library in Seattle to help school children with literature. Her primary care physician, Dr. Andrew Mitchell, who is 40 years younger than her, envies her blood pressure and lab results. But the most astonishing thing lies elsewhere. Just 9 years ago, Margaret was walking with a cane, taking 11 different medications, and couldn't even open a jar of her homemade pickles. What turned her from a frail old lady into a vibrant woman admired by the entire neighborhood? It wasn't expensive procedures or complicated diets. It was 5 simple morning habits, ones most people have never even heard of. Margaret discovered these secrets by studying the lives of centenarians around the world. The results were so astonishing, even doctors couldn't believe their eyes. For 37 years, Margaret taught literature at a local school and lived happily with her husband, Robert Collins. But when she was 75, Robert passed away, and Margaret's world collapsed. Depression overwhelmed her. She stopped cooking her favorite cabbage soup and meat patties and gained 30 kilograms. She developed type 2 diabetes, and arthritis made every movement painful. By the age of 78, she was taking 11 medications, walking with a cane, and felt like a burden to her children, who live in New York City and Chicago. The turning point came one evening when she couldn't open a jar of pickles. She had canned herself and had to call her neighbor, Mrs. Clara Jones, for help. That night, sitting in her kitchen, filled with shame and hopelessness, Margaret made a decision that would change the rest of her life. She began researching how centenarians around the world maintain their health and independence. What she discovered shocked her, and her transformation shocked everyone else. Her blood sugar level dropped from 8.1 to 5.8. She lost 30 kilograms, stopped taking 8 medications, and threw away her cane. Write in the comments, what is your biggest health concern after 60? Because these 5 morning habits that saved Margaret's life just might save yours too. And no, it's not about strict diets or exhausting workouts. Habit number 1, the sunrise. Ritual, 15 minutes of light that restored her sleep. The habit is called the sunrise ritual. Margaret's first habit sounds almost laughably simple, but the science behind it is remarkable. Every morning at exactly 6 a.m., she sits by the east-facing window in her kitchen for 15 minutes. No glasses, no lenses, just her eyes absorbing natural morning light as she slowly drinks a glass of room-temperature water. Here's what happens in your body when your eyes are exposed to morning light. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, your body's master clock, is activated. It regulates cortisol production at the right time and suppresses melatonin. For older adults, this is absolutely critical because our circadian rhythms naturally weaken with age. Margaret used to wake up 4 to 5 times per night, feel groggy all morning, and need an afternoon nap just to function. She took sleeping pills to fall asleep and drank 4 cups of tea a day just to stay awake. After just 6 weeks of this simple ritual, she was sleeping 7 hours straight and waking up naturally refreshed. Her doctor was so amazed that he took her off sleep medication entirely. But here's the key. The light must reach the eyes directly, not through glass or lenses, and it has to happen within the first hour of waking up. If you live in an apartment without east-facing windows, sit outside for 10 minutes or get a 10,000 lux light therapy lamp. If mobility is limited, position yourself wherever natural light can hit your face, even on cloudy days. It works because natural light is still far more powerful than indoor lighting. Habit. Number 2. Gratitude, plus memory, how to rewire your brain for positivity. After the sunrise ritual, Margaret does something that sounds simple but is incredibly powerful from a neuroscience perspective. She combines gratitude with memory, strengthening in a way specifically designed for the aging brain. She sits with a small notebook and writes down 3 things she's grateful for. But here's the twist. For each gratitude, she recalls a specific sensory memory in vivid detail. Instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my family," she writes, "I'm grateful for the sound of my grandson Jason's laughter when he found old photos in my dresser. I can still hear that laughter echoing down the hallway and see his eyes light up." This isn't just pleasant reflection, it's neuroscience in action. Research by Dr. Rick Hansen shows that when we actively recall positive memories with sensory detail, we literally rewire our brains to notice more positive experiences. For older adults struggling with loneliness, depression, or memory issues, this is revolutionary. Margaret admits she started this habit during the darkest period of her life. "I felt invisible, forgotten, like my life didn't matter to anyone anymore." Some mornings, she could barely think of one thing to be grateful for. But after 3 weeks, something shifted. Her brain began automatically noticing small joys throughout the day. A friendly greeting from the mailman, the perfect temperature of her morning tea, a cardinal at the bird feeder. The memory component is just as important. As we age, we tend to focus on cognitive decline, but actively recalling detailed memories creates new neural connections and strengthens existing ones. Margaret noticed improvements not just in her recall of old memories, but in retaining new information too. She started remembering neighbors' names, where she put her keys and details from conversations. The emotional benefit was immediate. She felt more connected to her life story and less alone. If you have arthritis or vision issues, adapt the practice by speaking your gratitudes aloud or using a voice-to-text app. The key is in the sensory details: smell, sound, texture, temperature. What memory still makes you smile to this day? Share it in the comments, because you've just started the process of rewiring your brain. Habit 3. Proper hydration. Why morning tea might be draining your energy. This habit used to drain Margaret's energy every morning, and it might be draining yours too. Like most people, she used to go straight to the kitchen and pour herself a cup of tea first thing. That one habit was damaging her body in ways she didn't even realize. Margaret's new routine changed everything. Before any tea or food, she now drinks exactly 1 glass of warm water with a pinch of pink Himalayan salt and fresh lemon juice. Why is this so important for older adults? After 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is deeply dehydrated. Your blood is thicker, your joints are stiffer, and your brain literally shrinks from lack of water. When you add caffeine to an already dehydrated system, you force your adrenal glands to work overtime, raising cortisol and increasing inflammation. Margaret discovered this while studying Okinawan centenarians who have practiced a morning hydration ritual for centuries. Just 2 weeks after changing her hydration order, Margaret noticed a significant reduction in her arthritis pain. The morning joint stiffness that used to last hours would now disappear just minutes after getting out of bed. The warm water helps improve circulation. The salt provides essential electrolytes, which older adults are often deficient in. The lemon aids digestion and provides a natural dose of vitamin C. But Margaret had to overcome a common fear among older adults: frequent urination. "I was afraid I'd be running to the bathroom all morning," she admits. But the opposite happened. "My body actually learned to use the water, not just flush it out." The key is timing and temperature. Room temperature or warm water is absorbed faster than cold. Waiting 30 minutes before tea allows your body to fully rehydrate before caffeine kicks in as a mild diuretic. Margaret prepares her special water blend the night before, in a glass pitcher, sometimes adding ice so it reaches room temperature by morning. She uses it as a visual cue. When she sees the glass, she drinks it before anything else. If you take morning medications, check with your doctor about timing. But most can be taken with this hydration routine. What do you drink first thing in the morning? Tea? Coffee? Share below, because you might be shocked at how this simple switch can affect your energy. Habit 4. Gentle wake-up movement. 10 minutes that prevent falls. This morning habit takes just 10 minutes, but most people skip it entirely, missing out on something that could prevent dangerous falls. The fourth morning habit is a gentle warm-up. Before Margaret even gets out of bed, she performs a gentle 10-minute sequence that literally wakes her body from the inside out. It's not exercise, it's preparation for life. Margaret learned this by studying centenarians and physical therapists who specialize in fall prevention. At my age, a fall isn't just an inconvenience, it can change your life, she explains, but stiffness makes falls more likely. Here's her sequence: ankle circles, 10 in each direction for each foot. This gets blood flowing to the extremities and activates your balance sensors. Knee pulls, gently pulling each knee toward the chest and holding for 15 seconds. This loosens the hip flexors, which tighten overnight. Shoulder rolls, 10 forward, 10 backward while lying down. This helps counteract forward head posture from years of looking down. Then she adds gentle neck turns, slowly looking left and right, then up toward the headboard and down toward her feet. Finally, she does what she calls wake-up shakes, quickly moving her hands, feet, and fingers for 30 seconds to stimulate circulation. The science behind this is powerful. While sleeping, the synovial fluid in your joints thickens, making movement stiff and painful. These gentle movements lubricate your joints before you put weight on them. Her physical therapist was amazed at the improvements in her balance and flexibility. But the real test came 6 months ago when Margaret slipped on wet leaves near the grocery store. Instead of falling hard, her body instinctively adjusted. Her improved hip flexibility let her recover, and her enhanced proprioception helped her stay upright. I know that fall could have broken my hip, she says. This routine saved me from months in a nursing home. Key modifications for different ability levels. If shoulder mobility is limited, just move within a comfortable range. If hip issues prevent knee pulls, try gently sliding your feet along the bed. If arthritis is severe, focus only on movements that feel good and skip any painful ones. Margaret emphasizes, the point is to listen to your body. Some mornings I do the full routine, others just ankle circles and a few shakes. The goal isn't perfection, it's preparation. She keeps a small timer on her bedside table and uses the same sequence every morning, creating a ritual that signals to her body, get ready for the day. Do you experience morning stiffness? How long does it usually last? Share your experience below, because Habit 5 just might surprise you. Habit 5. A daily purpose, from loneliness to the heart of the community. Margaret's final morning habit is what transformed her from feeling invisible and useless to becoming the heart of her community. Every morning, after her 4 other rituals, she spends exactly 5 minutes writing down one specific way she will contribute to someone's life that day. Not someday, not this week, today. It may sound simple, but it's scientifically proven to be one of the most powerful factors in longevity. When Margaret first began this practice, she felt utterly useless. What could a broken old woman possibly offer anyone, she thought. Her first act of contribution was calling her neighbor, Mrs. Helen, to ask how her doctor's visit went. It felt so small, almost silly, Margaret recalls. But Mrs. Helen cried because no one else had thought to ask. That tiny gesture created a ripple effect Margaret never expected. Mrs. Helen began visiting daily. Soon, Margaret was calling other neighbors, sharing vegetables from the small garden she started, and offering advice to young teachers facing challenges she remembered well. Within 6 months, Margaret became the unofficial connector of the neighborhood, the person everyone called when they needed support. The science behind this is remarkable. Research by Dr. Patricia Boyle at Rush University found that people with a strong sense of life purpose had 44% less cognitive decline, 2.5 times lower risk of developing Alzheimer's. The Ikigai phenomenon, the Japanese secret to plus 7 years of life research from the Blue Zones, shows that having a daily sense of purpose, what Okinawans call Ikigai, can add up to 7 years to your lifespan. But the benefits go far beyond longevity. Reduced inflammation, stronger immune function, better sleep quality, and greater life satisfaction. Margaret's transformation was visible to everyone around her. Her adult children noticed she sounded happier and more engaged during phone calls. Her doctor commented on her improved posture and energy levels. Even the cashier at Whole Foods said she glowed differently. The key is being specific and consistent, not, "I want to help people," but, "Today I'll text my grandson about his football game. Today I'll compliment the mailman who always smiles." Margaret keeps a list of small kind acts, like calling someone who may be lonely, exchanging a recipe, offering support, sending a thank you note, or simply listening without judgment. For those with limited mobility or social circles, this can be done online, leaving kind comments on social media, sending encouraging emails, or joining virtual volunteer work. Margaret emphasizes, "Contribution doesn't have to be big to be meaningful. Some days I just smile at everyone I see in Trader Joe's. You'd be surprised how much that can brighten someone's day." She writes her daily intention in the same notebook as her gratitude entries, creating a morning ritual that sets her mindset and mission for the day. How do you currently make a difference in someone's life? Share your ideas below, because small acts of kindness create the biggest transformations for others and for yourself. Inspiring results. A complete transformation. In just 6 years. Margaret's life transformation is nothing short of a miracle. Let's paint a picture of the before and after that continues to amaze everyone who knows her. At 78, Margaret took 11 medications daily, used a cane to move around the house, and weighed 30 kilograms, 66 pounds, more than she does now. She rarely left home except for doctor visits, spoke to her children only when they called out of duty, and spent most days watching TV and feeling sorry for herself. She had prediabetes with a blood sugar level of 8.2, chronic joint pain, and relied on sleeping pills to get even a few hours of rest. Fast forward to today. Margaret is 84 years old. She takes only 3 medications, drives herself to volunteer work 3 times a week, and has more energy than people half her age. Her blood sugar is now 5.8, completely normal. She lost 30 kilograms without dieting, sleeps 7 to 8 hours naturally, and her arthritis pain has decreased by 80%. But the physical changes are just the beginning. Margaret has become a social connector in her neighborhood, maintaining relationships with over 30 people. She mentors new teachers online, tends a small community garden, and is even learning a foreign language. Her doctor recently told her she has the cardiovascular health of a 70-year-old and the cognitive function of someone decades younger. Margaret's secret isn't expensive treatments or complex programs. It's 5 simple morning habits working together like a symphony. Light exposure to regulate sleep, gratitude and memory to strengthen the brain, proper hydration to reduce inflammation, gentle movement to prevent falls, and daily purpose to help her thrive. "I'm no longer just surviving," Margaret beams. "I'm truly living for the first time in years." Your action plan. Which habit will you start tomorrow? Choose just one of Margaret's 5 morning habits and try it for 7 days. Don't try to change everything at once. Margaret didn't do that either. Start with the dawn ritual if you struggle with sleep, or begin with a hydration routine if you have joint pain. Then come back and tell us in the comments what you noticed. Did you feel more energetic? Did you sleep better? Did you experience more optimism? If Margaret's story inspired you to believe that it's never too late to transform your health and life, please like and share this video with someone who needs hope about aging. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, we recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss new episodes, where we'll continue discussing important topics on health and longevity. Your support really helps us create valuable content that informs and, hopefully, inspires. Thank you so much for being with us. See you in the next episodes. Take care and stay healthy.